Hey everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of a little project I've been wanting to put together for a while. It's going to be a read-along of my book. So, if you don't know me, my name's Josh. I am an author, a writer, a former award-winning newspaper columnist, and I only say that because I still don't really believe that it actually happened. But anyway, I wrote a book a few years ago. It is on sale on Amazon, so I know some of you have it. If you don't, you can go get it and you can read along with me, or you can just listen to me read it and you won't have to buy it. I guess it's kind of just up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to read a couple chapters in each episode because they're pretty short. The whole book in general, it's short. It is a memoir style, so kind of what I did, if you don't know, I had that newspaper column for a few years, and kind of this is a collection of those, and then in this book I went a little further and explained what was going on when I wrote them in my life and why I wrote what I did when I did. And I think these videos actually might even expound on that further. So, I mean, if there's questions about things, if you're actually interested and you want to leave them in the comments, I can get to them at the end of each video. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you can share this around with your friends or people you know that like to read. It's just something I've been wanting to try and do and see if I can get any interest in. So, kind of like this book, I just wanted to have a book, so I wrote one. So I think I'm going to start today with just the first few chapters. I'm going to try to keep these short and sweet so you don't get bored. And here we go. My Thoughts in Orbit, an accidental memoir about thinking too much. Preamble. The purpose of this book is to take you on a journey, my journey. It will be filled with thoughts and stories from my life. Don't get me wrong, this is not going to include tales of great heroism or hardship. What I want this to be is a story of a man who has felt pain, been depressed, been worried, been sad, felt lost, felt grief, seen the dark, seen the light, felt joy, felt pride, felt love, felt confident, and now truly loves where he is. I consider myself to be an everyman, going through all that life has to offer, good and bad, just like everyone else. The only difference is that I wrote all those feelings down along the way. These pieces go in order in which they were written, from the time I started this collection up to the present day. You will notice that as current events happen, I wrote down my thoughts in them. Some of the pieces I wrote strictly for myself, and some were written as part of a column for a local newspaper. All the pieces are true tales, no matter how happy or sad they may be. I am leaving the pieces exactly as they were originally written, bad grammar and all, to take you along the journey of starting as a self-taught writer to becoming an award-winning one. I've always wanted to try and make a difference with my writing. I love to make people think, and I love a good story. When I began assembling this book, my original intention was to simply put together a collection of my work, almost in a random musing sort of way. But as I began to do so, all the memories and emotions that came with each piece started to mold the book into something more. It gave me a chance to really take a look at the people, places, and events that made me the human being that I am today. I want to throw a shout out here to my buddy Craig Beach. He actually is a good friend of mine, and he edited my entire book and saved me a lot of money. So thanks, Craig. This book is for anyone who has ever needed guidance, a kind word, or needs to feel some solidarity. This book is for everyone. Chapter 1. The first story ever written. October 15th, 2013. I suppose I will start by saying I didn't go to college. Not that a degree is required for writing words down on paper or typing some in Microsoft Word, but I suppose that's the way most people do it these days. I began writing in high school, and I felt it made me a certain way, which led me to believe when I was younger that it was something that I wanted to do with my life when I became an adult. Did any of that pan out? I guess you'll just have to continue and see. A few months before writing this first story, I was pretty fed up with the way people in this world were acting. I had created a group on social media named There's Still Some Good Left. That group was created to help build people up by sharing stories of hope and solidarity. In only a few days, that group had collected over 1,500 members. As I recall, people from all over the country and Brazil were sharing their messages of hope and love for one another. That group had ballooned so big so quickly that I had given a good bit of thought to what I might say when I got interviewed by Ellen. Well, that didn't work out, but we did make the local newspaper. It was such an exciting time, and I could tell that everyone involved in that group could feel the hope and the love. People were so desperate for something positive that when they saw this, they thought it was great, and for the time it lasted, it truly was. I wanted to begin writing my own little blurbs and try to inspire and keep adding fuel to this fire. The short piece was the first bit of words I had ever put together for the world to see. And that piece was called Running in the Dark. I woke up at 4:30 this morning. I wake up at 4:30 every morning for work. My alarm goes off. I never hit snooze. I get up and I get ready. I'm driving this morning and I think, man, I'm sick of always running around in the dark. Did you know that you can get sick without enough sunlight? Without sunlight, we become vitamin D deficient. No sunlight also means no serotonin, which makes us depressed. This happened to a friend of mine. He worked third shift and was going through a rough spot. He slept all day and went kind of bonkers. I think a lot of us are always just running around in the dark when we should be chasing the sun. When you say to yourself, what's the point? When you're feeling apathetic or that things are awful, when you can't find that motivation to go to school or to go to Zumba or finish that assignment or to clean the house, you're still just running around in the dark. Don't let the dark make you sick. Why can't today be the day that you get out of bed, get ready, and walk out into the sun? Chapter 2, Band Kid. October 17th, 2013. No, not that kind of band kid. Not the marching band type. Those kids were geeks. We were the touring in a stinky van with 4 other guys taking a shower with baby wipes on the side of the road type of band kids. I always had plans of going to college once I graduated high school, but playing bass just took over everything in my life. Music was my life at 20. It was going to be my job. I had a job, actually. I stocked shelves at the local grocery store. I don't know how many times I called off or went home early. Our gigs meant so much more than work. I could tell my mom hated the way I treated music. It came before everything else. She wanted me to find a good job, settle down, and be a normal member of society. That idea was just not me at the age of 20. I didn't have dreams of being a rock star. I just wanted to make some money playing music. I lived that life for over 5 years. We lived together, we ate together, we got scabies together. Hey now, we were somewhat clean. But when you find out that a homeless man had been sleeping in your practice space, there's not much more you can do. Every bit of money we made went into our hopes of making it. Needless to say, those dreams died. Even years later, at this time in my life, I was still hanging on to hope, jamming with buddies with drug problems in my garage, just trying to make it work. They had drug problems, not me. Like a world without music. Take a minute and really think about music with me. Music really does get taken for granted. Most of my life has revolved around music, especially my adult life. I played it with my friends and we were completely serious about it. It ran our lives. I mean, we lived music. Every penny we had after bills went to music. I'll go as far as to say music has made me the person that I am. Music also put me in quite a few situations a lot of people would feel uncomfortable in, like sleeping under a semi-trailer in a park in Indiana in a thunderstorm after a show, only to be awoken by a marching band the next morning. Think about the memories that go with music, kind of like our parents saying, I remember exactly where I was when JFK was assassinated. We always hear a certain song and it takes us somewhere. For me, Deathbed by Relient K always makes me think of my late stepdad, Cowboy Bob, and being jammed in the back of a truck for 20-some hours on a road trip to Wyoming. Existentialism on Prom Night by Straylight Run takes me back to dancing on the pitcher's mound of a baseball field in the middle of the night. The entire Late Registration album by Kanye West takes me to sitting in my car for 3 hours just talking to my wife, the night of our first unofficial date. I could probably think of many more, but those are just to name a few. Now think about some of the things that would be awful without music. The crucial scene in your favorite movie where they are about to kiss for the first time after they just ran at each other down the street and miraculously they aren't sweaty or out of breath and their hair still looks perfect. There's beautiful music in the background that you don't even notice. Watch it on mute and see how awesome it feels. One of the most important days of your life, your wedding day. One of my wife and I's biggest squabbles planning our wedding was music. Where's it going to come from? What's being played during this and that? What do you imagine walking down the aisle to silence would be like? What would we dance to? Why would we sing? Music is a beautiful part of life. One that's near and dear to my heart. I will always love it. I will always play it. I will always talk about it. I will always share it. There are people out there who give up a normal life to make music, and their number one goal is to make you hear it. So the next time you hear a good tune, take it in and appreciate it. Would that moment even be a moment without it? So I'm going to stop there. As you notice, there's a lot of talk about a wife in here. Some of those might get, that's just life. I'm not married anymore, but a lot of this book was about that. That's what was going on in my life at the time. So, on that note, if there's anything in there that you have questions about, or you can, any thoughts, whatever, leave them in the comments below. And I look forward to making another one. I had a good time reading, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I'm going to leave you with one fun fact about this book. That wasn't the original title. My Thoughts in Orbit, an Accidental Memoir About Thinking Too Much. It used to be called He's Not Mad, He Just Looks That Way. I actually have a proof, like a 1,000-page proof that I printed out that has that on the front. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't have the book and you would like to, My Thoughts in Orbit, an Accidental Memoir About Thinking Too Much, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it in print, you can get it digital as well. So I hope you enjoyed. I know I've said that a million times, but I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you read along. Let me know if you're just going to listen to me read along, and I'll catch you on the next one.